In 2014, a doctor ripped off insurance. I did not know that's what he was doing at the time. In 2015, collections came from me. So he ripped off the insurance company and put my name on it and sent it overseas. And the communists took a bunch of conscripted felons to come. I don't know if you're new here. Suffice to say, I noticed collections. If it's illegal, it's not the law. And figure anyone in any intelligence capacity, they have a director or a secretary or something. I mean, if your whole squad is cool with the level of blowback you're messing with, but Al-Qaeda is out here using Neighborhood Watch as a screen for terrorist activities. Point being, you obviously did not think that we were negotiating, right? Nobody could possibly be that dumb by themselves. There had to be outside help. It's a conspiracy. And if your attitude is like, well, this is just how we do it now, then that's the law then. It's not a religion because you're God. The devil himself had 40 days and nights to try the only man that was born perfect. And then he would have had to get a warrant or get back in his boat and sail his bright red ass back to whatever flat Earth-like planet he came from. So without a word directly to my face, you thought you were just going to have some idiot doctor rip off the insurance companies and collections whack me before I find out. And along the way, see, I tried to subpoena the hospital. I paid for 5 consultations with this lawyer before I left. I obviously didn't run away, but along the way, I had to look into it for myself. See, the real FBI knows that indirect encounters are not admissible as evidence. So they say it's the Russians, right? Okay, so the Russians thought we were negotiating, or because I was under the impression someone was trying to play it like there was a cartel involved, and I already had contacts going back before 9/11, so it should probably be the CIA, not like a foreign operation. But like, hopefully it's the CIA. We get this sorted out. But in the event that a real cartel somehow got involved in this, because they were being real mean. There's no real cartel under the impression that I owe them money for drugs. Somebody went and told China that I stole it. I was stealing drugs and selling them and snitching out, just out of control, try to whack me before I find out. But if you're as yet unaware that all the things which allegedly happened around here, like I shot a possum, not a dog. That was after I left. She called me, oh, the dog died of natural cause. I get to California and they're like, oh, this guy kills dogs. And it wasn't until I got back that I found out that on a previous trip, they had raped a girl after she sat next to me on the bus and blamed some Mexican. So I just presume the prevailing authority is aware of that. I'm telling the U.S. ambassador to Bogota, like, you want to play cartel games? I've been trying to reach the CIA for 10 years if you have some kind of diplomatic option in mind. I'm definitely with the Catholics on this one. There's the democracy, or, you know, we can't just have just anybody coming along and conscripting unwilling Americans. So if you're the real Catholics, you got nothing to worry about. You know, I mean, make it stop, but, and if you're not the real Catholics, you're not sure. The real Catholics are a good reason not to drone strike America. The not real Catholics would be the reason they do. So exactly what opinion of mine, where it would matter unless you were pretending to negotiate. See, secrecy is like swimming in the dark. You ever do that? Swim out to the buoy where you can't tell where the water ends and the sky begins? You might be in over your head. Apotheosis is heresy because it proves you don't have faith in a real God to fulfill his divinely ordained role in the universe, maybe you think he is personally telling you to do stuff. I defer to the Pope. He's not only the final ecclesiastical authority in this life, he is also the living embodiment of religious freedom, because as long as he holds that prestige, our opinion is of limited consequence. I don't necessarily have to kill you because I'm right and you're wrong because he's there, and neither of us is necessarily ultimately has the final say in the matter. I believe in a real God, not some Nazi science project. I'm not a member of the FDA where I'm obligated to play along like it's working. I'm a diplomat at heart. If the Pentagon wants to talk turkey, I could be the youngest general in U.S. military history. I'm 46 years old. We're talking about at least 40 years in service. I understand some of the practical necessities of paperwork. Like, it just has to be this until they get the message and adapt to the reality of the situation. So there's not a disconnect. But you're not just going to attack me with a rogue space program. You know, Ollie North put himself bodily between the Republic and her enemies. Skin in the game. It was not a campaign fund. Well, he did it. So you're a cultist. And you think you work for Ollie North. So I go all the way out there trying to find whoever's trying to kill me, since these idiots won't take no for an answer. Something about that blonde girl. What? Not this blonde girl, like, won't leave me alone at the time. I had a job when all this started. So Corpo is letting child molesters and felons and fugitives and Muslims pick and choose the intel that they serve back to the legislature. China's like, you bastard, we had a deal. I didn't even have a deal with the guy who told you we had a deal. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, the last king of Scotland. He's called the last king of Scotland. 60 years of medically negligent population control for us, at least 30 sons that we know of, for the guy who became president by, if I'm not mistaken, eating the previous president. And you want to play at democracy with me? I swore a Hippocratic oath. First, I shall do no harm. I shall guard my charge from injustice. And I sent it to Pope Francis on Twitter before he died. May he rest in peace. Because these people are in trouble, Your Holy Eminence. Go all the way to California. I get back. The love of my life is 7 months pregnant. They raped my reason for living the minute I left town and got her strung out, just to connect the Pentagon to crimes they never could pin on me directly, because fleeing is an admission of guilt. And then when you come back, they say he never left. The implied argument being they did it because they're scared. Because I know I didn't do it. They know I didn't do it. Therefore, motive, if it's illegal, it's not the law. There has to be some moral obligation for the community to tolerate this behavior. It's not that they want Al-Qaeda using Neighborhood Watch as a screen for terrorist activities. But thus far in our story, I'm the only one that has done any legwork. Except for the guys trying to kill us all. You know, they had a 30-year head start at the time. After 6 months, I went to the Secret Service. I don't know what's going on, right? So it goes deviant, predatory, homosexual, gay, criminal, terrorist, unwashed, zombie, asshole, apocalypse, China, and then to whoever you're getting your information from. Maybe, just for instance here, perhaps, hypothetically speaking, Elon Musk did not necessarily inherit all of his startup capital, unless NASA is his daddy. Let's say, for the sake of argument, maybe NASA was liquidated in part for whoever decided to fund Elon Musk's endeavor. And this is not for litigious purposes. I'm just spitballing here. Run simulation, just, for the sake of understanding. If Elon Musk suddenly found himself in such an advantageous market strategy because, or as a result of, NASA having to retire the space shuttle, I believe in coincidence. I know sometimes it just looks bad. Can't just have a bunch of rogue operators going around suing everybody on behalf of some kid they raped. But were that the case, in the eyes of the Almighty, in order to sanctify his forgiveness, all I got to do is throw Joey Greco out of a rocket ship. He's retired. He's not even on TV anymore. A farewell episode. It'll be like a gender reveal, brought to you by SpaceX, with all the tears. What we'll do is we'll give him, I don't know, whatever you think's fair, the network. I'd give him an hour of oxygen and give him a GoPro, like the selfie cam, whatever. And then we'll have like a panoramic of him just drifting through empty space. Because unbeknownst to myself at the time, Joey Greco was involved. So at what level of intelligence are you to know either that he was or not believe me? Why get a TV producer involved? I had a job. Like, I wasn't cheating. So they sent the producer down to make it look good enough for government work, and it went and ripped off the Pentagon. But the Navy SEALs are on your team because I did Benghazi? Oh, because one of their human shields claims I slept with her. She had a child by me. So I was not aware of the extent of the deployment of the Nazi technology that I was talking about to whoever was pretending we were negotiating. But it's pretty comprehensive. And when somebody goes to California and back, now it's Washington's business. There's no states' rights for you and California. See, now, me being how I am and wanting only the best for all these Catholics in this general direction, immediately set about quantifying a conventional foreign attack. Because, well, let's just say we have Catholics in high places. Like, I trust them. They just need the tools. But then this goes back to stabbing Charles de Gaulle in the back in North Africa after World War II, and then again in Vietnam. And now France is just like, well, I mean, France is not allowed. We got people over here who think their religion, it's okay to kick France out on behalf of the rest of us. And the reason I stand with Israel, if she decides to fuck around and kill every living man, woman, and child on the surface of the planet Earth, it is because she was the love of my life. I've never been so happy, ever. I mean, you think about like childhood and parties and friends and every great event in your normie life. I wandered the earth lost for years without her. And I couldn't, I was still looking for the way, but without the foundation, I just couldn't commit to anything new with people that had potentially had a life, because now mine had been taken away, and it never really occurred to me. I never thought about it like that. I knew it was unfair that she was just gone, and I tried to get on with my life, but I couldn't put down roots anywhere, and I went from one false start to another for years. And then finally she came back. She just came back to me one day, and for just one golden shining moment. Everything made sense. Just forget about it. I don't even know what I'm supposedly forgiving. I just had jingleheads messing with me for a long time, not in any plausible fashion, but they don't represent professionals. And I was right for the most part. It was just neighborhood watch. So the news went corporate after Vietnam, because I guess they get the idea that the government gets away with something, so they're allowed too. So anyway, now they're selling campaign spots directly to communists. So it's not surprising that communists canceled IQ testing so they could impersonate our government. And my attitude toward the CIA is just, I'm not worthy. They're red-blooded, patriotic Americans, just like us, only better. These are highly trained tools of the state. And you say tool like it's an insult. But tell us what exactly it is you do around here. So the CIA did not kill John F. Kennedy. He went to Cuba through a back channel. He left them behind, cut them out. So because they were not party to the negotiation directly, they had no way of guaranteeing what he did or didn't give to Castro. He might have given him the red phone for all we know. They had no way to go to Riyadh and, how to play Moscow, because he went rogue. So when his policy lapsed, they had no choice. They're not just going to, protect him from who? They can't just be standing there when the president, the commander-in-chief, gets assassinated and then be like, oh, all right, well, who's next? We still work for that guy, whoever's next. So they pulled the Secret Service off, and it officially wasn't them. But that's not how the news works these days. And, I've never been against Israel, but my suggestion, my complaint, was that it's pretty small to be naming it after the covenant of it's just so, it means so many things to so many people. And then we've got just Judea and Samaria over here using the name like it's a litmus for how much the rest of it, whether we care. It's a free country. They can't make us love them back. So what do you have in mind? What's your exit strategy here for, America hates us now, we're just going to go do our own thing? No, as long as I draw breath, I have to stand with Israel, because if I say as long as it goes unresolved, it'll never be resolved. They have no incentive to resolve it. So I swear that I'll always stand by Israel, because I want justice. She was 7 months pregnant when I got back. They tampered with her car so it wouldn't start when she came out from work. And they ambushed her and raped her behind a dumpster and then moved in with her. I guess Joey Greco had some plant give me a little bag of weed. He said he had a plane to catch in the morning and couldn't take it with us. And that's not unusual in America, but apparently it's so rare in Saudi Arabia that they believed I traded the love of my life for a 20 bag. As soon as I leave town, fleeing's an admission of guilt. They rape my reason for living, because I've never sold cocaine. I've never had a taste for this stuff. But somebody sold China me selling cocaine, for instance. So since they couldn't get me doing it personally, they just made it look like she was hooked because of me. And used me to connect it to the Pentagon. And because she was a Jew. That was suggested. What do you care? She's a Jew. We're not affiliated. Like, they didn't just tell the Jews that I was an anti-Semite. They told the anti-Semites I was an anti-Semite. And why? I've never had any other Jewish girlfriend. I mean, I kissed one in high school, but it didn't go anywhere. I was still a virgin. Like, why would all of Judendom have an axe to grind with me? Now, we got agents saboteurs. So, they say, the next war in Europe is going to be the big one. It's going to be the end of the way corporate operates. We could just change the name of France. We went to Benghazi. Well, not again. My heroes went to Benghazi, and the news was like, "Oh, these Navy SEALs were watching their objective get spit roasted on a bayonet from the safety of a nearby hill." And I smelled a cover-up. Frantically calling the Secretary of State at the office in the middle of the night for permission to evacuate their objective, and then these jingleheads go and penalize the Navy like I'm criticizing them because they don't get it. They have never served a day in their lives. Still my first rodeo. We've never been affiliated. Why should I change my name? And when you get on that bull, it's just you and the bull. You can't blame the clown. Are you the rider or the bull getting rode? Because the bull blame the clown. That's a whole other show. But the idea is to prove you're not the animal in this equation. Like Minions, one of us, one of us. They have no context. You ever been so happy to be home, you just get down on your knees, down on your hands and knees and just weep? Oh, he's got emotional issues. No, you just never been anywhere. You have no frame of reference. So why should people like Alpha Wolf Notes have to put up with a bunch of child molesters acting like we can't bid against them because they have a king somewhere? They're not with me. Invoice me. See what happens. You dream up whatever number you can dream. I'll show you to the best of my ability how this works. That's all any of us can do, right? France is going out of business. We'll see what we can do. Israel? Not if we kill us all first. As far as Benghazi, our little American slave boy said so, Navy. Oh, hands are tied. Wish we'd gotten the memo before. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Please don't hurt her. We're not affiliated where that means like I want to hurt her because you want to. It's called the messenger of Allah because he delivers his own agenda. His depiction is haram because he's a fugitive. He's not the devil. He's a fugitive. The devil's not a fugitive. In the book of Job, God asks Satan where he's been, and he answers him to and fro upon the earth. He doesn't lie. He doesn't run away. But the messenger of Allah is a deranged, slave-raiding infidel. He's just trying to buy his way out of hell one day at a time with the souls of little blonde kids, or the Moloch is going to eat his scalp. The Jews have due process. Solomon was the wisest of the judges. Christians, obviously, law is still delivered in Latin. Islam, Allahu Akbar, it's a purge. Look at me, God. I'm going to kill this guy. Like I have to turn against the Navy. I have to. Or what? So, 10 years I've been trying to reach the CIA, and turns out Haiti has been pretending to think they had a child by me since 1992. It didn't start in 2001. I know who they're talking about. I didn't have sex with her either. In 1992, I was 12. Which brings us to London. The way our child protection system works, when a child a young child is accused of a crime, uh, they are under child protection. So it's like top secret. It's like it's classified, kind of, but it doesn't get unsealed to a certain circle. You know, certain people don't find out about it until the child reaches adulthood, and then they act like, because they just heard about it, that they committed that crime as an adult. And then they got cultists over here actually doing it and pretending they're with the kid. So there's a serious question as to what constitutes a religion that our forefathers fought and died to guarantee, versus, like, why would anybody with any common sense? So I worked on that. That's my field. The child protection thing, I'm not sure what to do. First, I shall do no harm. I shall guard my charge from injustice. Now, that's the basis of a government. It's what our government is supposed to do. They do no harm, and they guard their charge. Or, you know, whether it's the public, or a guild, or a corporation, for instance. And then when there's a discrepancy in the books, see, people think religion causes most wars. I say it causes all of them too much or too little. So when one side has too much or too little, and the other they could both have too much. It's just a matter of circumstance. But when religion fails, the swords come out. And in ancient times, when the Holy Scriptures were written, warring kings would settle the matter with a contest. You didn't necessarily have to slaughter all these boys, so just give us your best retard against our best retard, and that's how the Olympics were invented. Incidentally, the Greeks wrestled naked so that everyone could see, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that they weren't just raping little boys. Everybody got a penis and a bush on top of it. Place your bets. So anyway, first, I shall do no harm, or I'm not a doctor. It's the definition. And if you're not a doctor, why would we be negotiating? I'm a professional, busy man. No, there's more to it than that, but first, do no harm, and that's the basis of democracy. It's a rational authority, which are qualified to debate with other rational people. And then there's the Olympics, and that's peace. That's all the peace we need. Islam means peace because it's not. That's why else would they call it that? They say it means peace or submission, as if the word Islam meant either peace or submission. But what it really means is peace or submission. Well, that's not entirely up to you. Look at you, look at me. First, I shall do no harm, and then if it's gangrene, I got to cut it off. A real doctor's obligated. Nobody's gonna watch this. Navy, if you're out there, I love you. I mean, not love. The CIA is my only love, till we get all this sorted out. The CIA is my only romantic interest at this time. I mean, I got a fiance, but I haven't told her I love her. I write love letters to the CIA every day. And I expect some pushback, because I know exactly who I'm talking about. I don't know who you think I'm talking about. Incidentally, I'm not a priest. I've never been a priest, never claimed to be a priest, never asked for the job. But I'm also not a layman. And I don't know if you think this is a homily, but lo, for I have sinned, and I have done wickedly. But these sheep, what have they done? Let thine hand, I pray thee, be against me and my father's house. And then they stopped because they had a valid grievance. It wasn't just a zombie apocalypse. Luigi Mangione is a hero of the Republic. public and a champion of Christ. Deus Vult. Because Brian Thompson's business model kills American children. Joey Greco appears to be working with Uganda under the mistaken impression that they have a child by me. Michael Jackson did a song about it called Billie Jean. If you've never heard it, I need your permission to talk to Washington. The corporate spyware has an immediate family caveat in the license agreement. So what they're doing is they're pretending they think you're married behind your back so they can spy on you at work. Or maybe it was that guy. Or maybe it was that guy. I'm the one who was in the army.